All right, let's do this before we wrap up, Lo. Let's do a little mock draft simulator. See what we got.
Let's see
what trades are available. Take the Chargers instead of the PFF big board. We'll do consensus big board. Let's do positional value and needs. Just put them right in the middle. And here we go. Let's do 3 rounds. Let's do the first 3 and see what kind of trades we come up with. All right. So we have an opportunity to draft Keldrick Falk, the 20-year-old edge out of Auburn. You brought up Caden Proctor, the tackle out of Alabama, the safety, McNeil Warren. TJ Parker is there. A couple tackles are there. Casey Concepcion, the wide receiver, who is electric but has issues with his hands. Denzel Boston, the true X, jump ball specialist is there. Cassius Howell, your speed edge, is there. And we have got 6 trade offers. So we've got, here's the one there. Of all of these, the one that we mentioned was Arizona. Let's see whether or not the deal I put together works.
Let's see, baby. Come
on. 34, 65. We give them 22 and 86, and we add 104. And wow, look at that. So they're saying I'm giving up way too much.
Really?
Yeah. I put in 22, 86 for 34, 65, 104. And then I also said, what did I say?
You had that 1-8 in 7th round, 183 in there too?
Man, I can take all of their picks for the remainder of this year if I give up 86 and they say it's got a 100% chance of being accepted. So I guess I undervalued it big time.
Wow.
So if I take out 86, yeah, look at that. They'll just give us 34 and 65 straight up for 22. Do that.
Oh.
So and then let's see what we get.
85 and you keep your 85. You get 65.
Keep it. So now you've got 34, 55, 65, 85. So now at 34, like we said, all these guys are still there, which is why this thing is such a tough exercise, because Basantis is still there. Caden McDonald, the D tackle, is still there. Zion Young is still there. Cassius Howell is gone. R. Mason Thomas, the edge, is still there. He's a lot of fun to watch. So now you got 8 trades available. You can trade back 3 spots with the Giants to 37 and pick up even more picks. I don't want to do that because that gets a little stupid. So I would just go draft a player, and I'll leave it up to you, Lo. We can take Basantis, the guard that I really like. You can take the speed edge and R. Mason Thomas, a little bit more of a Nick Benito type. Or you can take a little bit more of a bigger edge, a run-setting edge that's just a bull rush in Zion Young. You can take the big interior tackle in Caden McDonald. So
I'm going guard. I like the guard you want. And here's what people say: well, Lo, why are you talked about Khalil Mack getting a little older. You're saying, hey, look, you need to be younger. I get it, but I'm going to wait to make that pick. The reason why I'm going guard as a Charger, as a GM, you put me in that position, is because my quarterback's been beat up the last couple of years. He's one of the highest paid quarterbacks. He has a broken hands. How many more surgeries? I know that my quarterback now he's still a young man, but these injuries are going to come back to hunt him.
Yeah.
I want to keep this guy around at least another 7 to 10 more years. I got to keep him upright. So I'm saying, look, I'm going to do this because I love Herbert, and I'm not going to tell him that I love him. I'm going to show him that I love him. With that pick, I'm going guard.
All right, there we go. So we got our guard. Love it. All right, now we're on at 55, and I like what we got here. Our guy Keelan Rutledge was still there at 55, our other guard. But Derek Moore, who Coach Harbaugh had at Michigan, he's a heck of an edge. You got Lee Hunter. He's kind of a little bit more of your take on double teams, sort of true nose, not really going to give you a lot of juice in the pass rush, sort of nose tackle, interior lineman. We've got, let's see, the corner Keontae Scott out of Miami. Who else? What else do we got here available to us? Malachi Fields is kind of, dealt with some injuries, a little bit more of that X on the outside. Doesn't really have a lot of juice, but really good with his hands at wide receiver. Antonio Williams, the highs are really high for him as a wide receiver. Max Clare is tight end who I think would probably fit in really well. I feel like Max. I think Max was the Purdue guy I'm thinking of. Had some really good tape at Purdue. You can take a swing here. 55. Boy, oh boy, there's a lot of different options here. All right, Lo. Let's hop out Chris O'Leary. Let's stick with edge.
Get your edge. Get your pass.
And
get your pass from Michigan. Hardball
interior lineman. And I'm gonna also put safety, and I'm gonna put corner in here. So let's just look at defense. Okay, so you got the big citrus, Dominique Orange out of Iowa State, one of the better nicknames in the draft. If you want interior line there, like him, I'm fine with either him or Lee Hunter. They're both fun players to watch. Romello Height's an interesting one, man. He's another one of these dudes with really short arms who's a lot smaller, but holy cow, man, he is just a freaking missile off the edge. Derek Moore is a little bit more of your traditional edge, 6'3", 260. I like Derek Moore a lot. What's Romello Height? Romello Height is 6'3", 240, but he's just got shorter arms. Man, he's so much fun to watch. I don't think David Bailey has the year he has without Romello Height, just wreaking havoc off the other edge. So I'll leave it up to you. You want to go edge or you want to go interior?
Oh, I'm going edge.
Okay.
I'm going to go either Hike or Moore.
All right. So we'll go. You know what? I'm gonna have some fun if you don't mind. I'm gonna take Height.
See, there you go. I was letting you pick those. I was letting you pick those one of those two guys.
I like those dudes. All right, at 65. Let's see. Let's check out what wide receivers, tight ends, and we still need a center. Still need a backup center. Because right now, this is fun. Antonio Williams. I don't know if you've seen Ted Hurst out of Georgia State. He's very raw. I heard Steve Smith. I love Steve, man. Steve cracks me up. And Steve does his homework. He loves him, man. He freaking loves Ted Hurst. I heard him say the name Larry Fitzgerald when talking about Ted Hurst. So I don't think you'd be a poor man's Larry Fitzgerald. I think you'd be homeless, destitute, and perhaps, like on death's door, Larry Fitzgerald. But so you got Ted Hurst there. You got the tight end Max Clare that I was talking about, who's, let's see, Clare, tight end, about that. What else do we have? Stats. Inline 142. So, yeah, I feel like he had 43 receptions. So 448 yards, 2 touchdowns for Ohio State. Yeah, so he is. I'm pretty sure he's the Purdue guy that I was thinking of. 684 and 4. So you got the tight end. I think you got to add to that room. You have, So
do you think they're gonna? I think it will be by free agency. I don't think they're gonna draft. I think when you took it to charge, because you got some talent at the tight end, and yes, you need some more. But I don't know if they use it. Those draft picks are going to be crucial. You got to go offensive line.
Right.
You have to go edge. You got to go interior line. I think the draft is a very beefy draft for the Chargers. I'd be down if they go receiver. If they got somebody in free agency that didn't get drafted, because there's a lot of guys that didn't get drafted, that can play. So I just think their needs is too high into interior this year.
So here's the case I would make for tight end, Lo. And I hate doing it, but it's reality, right? It's football.
Right.
If Charlie Kohler gets injured, you got nobody that can block. Like, I love Aronde Gadsden, but if you tell me I got to drop him on the edge of that line and he's got to be my block. So that's why I'm thinking of like a Sam Rush, who I'm, partial to because I got to see him in person. Full service tight end out of Stanford. You could probably wait on him. You don't have to take him at 65. But I think tight end is in play just for a blocking tight end. I think that depth piece specifically to kind of just cover that room, to be a little more comfortable in case, because I think Aronde's just more your move tight end. I don't think you'd really feel comfortable with him on the edge of that line. So, and I'm fine waiting to see if Roush is still there with one of these other picks.
How about those guys on the streets? Fiske, is he coming back? Do you bring some of these guys? You think they're turning the page?
I just don't think he necessarily fits. I think what you saw with Will Dissly, moving on from him and putting Kohler in there, getting a little bit more of an athlete in there.
Right.
I think with this scheme, you got to have a little bit more of an athlete, and so that to me. But I'll let you here. This is all you. You want wide receiver? You want to get it? You want to build some depth into that room with an Antonio Williams and Ted Hurst, or you can
let's go with Teddy, baby.
Or I've got the top center on the board still sitting here. You know, if you want to make sure you're covered on that front, you do not have a backup center right now. And Sam Hecht is sitting here, who's he's number one on a lot of people's boards. You can really kind of build some depth on that offensive line. Or you can go wide receiver, Bryce Lance. You know, Trey's brother, who's a 4-3 guy. You can go Ted Hurst, like I said, a guy that Steve Smith really, really likes. Tight end, I think that all fits right there. Let's see what's available. Interior defensive lineman. Big Citrus is still there. Dominique Orange. You pick it. Low, what position you want?
You know what? I'm going to keep Bill. I'm just going Big Sam. Because I want to make sure that I'm protecting this guy behind me.
Okay.
You know, so let's go Big Sam.
Sam Hecht it is. Got our backup center, feeling good about the O-line. And now at 86, this is our last pick here. We've now got a center. We've got a guard. We've got an edge. And we have Oscar Delp, who's very exciting. Tight end out of Georgia. Didn't get a lot of snaps, didn't get a lot of targets because they were throwing bubble screens to Zachariah Branch the entire game. You've got...
I need a blocking tight end right now. Do you have one on there?
Okay. Let's pull up. Yeah. My guy, Sam Roush, is still there out of Stanford.
He's still there. See there? I waited for it. See, I knew you wanted any money. I waited, and now I just feel it. Now I got my blocking tight end. I got my backup center. I got my backup tight end, and I built in the trenches. Championships are won in the trenches.
All right, Lo, here we go. We woke up. Here's our grade. Let's see. We have Chase Basantis at 34 after our trade back. We got 34 and 65 for 22. So we picked up an extra third. We picked up a third for sliding back 11 spots. So we got our starting guard, guy we really like in Basantis. We drafted him at 34. He was on their big board at 46. We drafted Romello Hyde at 55 just because I'm stupid and I want to watch him play. He was their 73rd rated player. We reached for Sam Hecht. He was their 79, and we took him at 65. And then we reached for Sam Roush. He was their 107, and we took him at 86. I'm trying to see what's our grade. It says
I want to see the grade.
Yeah, it didn't give us a grade.
Was that bad? Did we fail that miserably?
I think so. I think we got expelled.
That's crazy.
I think we were. It says awards earned, and it just has handshakes. And I think that's I don't know. That's you and me doing this together. You know, we didn't have any arguments. We were able to get through it. Listen, if this is what it looks like after day 2, and it's Basantis, you got a starting guard, you got a backup center, and your center of the future. You've got a tight end that I think is just scratching the surface on what he can become. He's got really short arms. That's why if he didn't have 30-inch arms, this guy's going like back end of the first round, top of the second round. He's just a great blocker, really good athlete. And you get an edge. Folks, go home and go to YouTube and watch highlights of Romello Hyde.
I'm doing that. Romello Hyde. Yeah, I'm doing that.
It's a lot of fun. So I feel good about what we did, Lo. We ended up pulling an hour out of this. I thought we were going to go for about a half hour, and we ended up going for an hour. And I think our producer Lindsay wants me to send her a screenshot of our pick that we.
When it happens, when they show this next week, everyone's gonna be like, "Did you see Money and Low?
Right?
They got them all. They nailed it. It.
There we go. Got the photo. Appreciate everybody. A big thank you to FanDuel putting this together. Again, if you want to get in on that action, FanDuel's got odds on the draft. You can figure out who you think is going to get picked 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe make a little scratch on it. Of course, Chargers still 3rd in the AFC, and they are still 6th in Super Bowl odds right now. So Bills, Ravens, Chargers, and then in the NFC, you got the Seahawks and the Rams. I think are the only 2 ahead of them. Yeah, so 5th is where they are right now. So good stuff. Lo, tell the people, is it public yet what you got going on?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I want you guys to come join me and Money. I got Money. Maybe Money doesn't know he's going to be hosting.
I'm going to do everything I can to get up there.
He's going to be taking all kind of interviews. I have the 27th, the fullback classic. So people, if you want to come up to Fresno and hang out with your boy Lo Neal in Fresno, we're going to be there June 27th, and it's going to be a Dragonfly. It's a golf tournament. The great Mike Allstott, the Heisman from the Ohio State, Eddie George, Michael Turner, Darren Sproles, Sam Gash.
Awesome.
Your boy too. My fullback.
Larry Centers, right? Didn't you say
Larry Centers? I forgot. Little
Centers.
Larry, baby. Little Larry.
Love
Great
Centers.
catching receiver, Larry Centers. Yeah, so Max Strome from Seattle. Big Max Strome. Norris is coming in. Bar none. So it's going to be awesome. A lot of fullbacks. We're going to make it happen.
Do we have a spot where they can go, or is that coming? Just keep your ears open.
That's just coming. Guys can hit me. Guys can hit me. And if it's sponsored by the PM Lounge. I've sent over a flyer, Lindsay. If you can throw that flyer on there, people can take their foursomes up. It's going to be a great time.
Yes. So set your calendar now. Saturday, June 27th is what we're talking about. Get your butt to Fresno to 559.
Let's go, baby. Fresno. Bolt up.
Get some steak sandwiches at the Bulldog Grill. Get out there and golf. Love it, Lo. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Lindsay. Appreciate it. We'll be back next week, and that'll be the eve of the draft, post Joe Ortiz presser, and it's here, man. And who knows what this team's going to look like between now and then? There could be some trades made. There could be some movement. So if there's anything like that, maybe we do an emergency pod. But Lo, appreciate it.
No
we'll
worries.
be back again next week. You said it. Circle the calendars, June 27th. Bolt up.